But yeah, it'd be awesome for Sev. It'd be awesome for Desiree. Being like, this is how we're referring people to our therapist.
Mm-hmm.
That is, especially like when you got to talking about postpartum.
Mm-hmm.
We out here. What up, money shooter? That's how you feel, that's how you feel, boxer.
Do a live on here.
You got your phone.
Mm-hmm.
You're just gonna record it on your phone.
I was gonna do a live. Peace. I was gonna do what is that?
You're gonna do a live on it.
Yeah, I was gonna do a live on the self-love tyrant.
I got you.
Mm-hmm. What's up, horsey?
The many sounds of Imani.
Yeah, that open throat chakra.
And when you get a chance, can you slide over some so I can slide the baby over and I can get on a little bit more.
On display. That's what's up.
It's called product placement.
No doubt. But on top of the sound bowl.
Both of them products and services.
Nice.
Gosh, shit.
Whoop.
There we go.
What?
What you trying to do?
You put it on live.
Yeah, you gotta hit the button down at the bottom.
Which one?
Trying to do my nails only using supplies.
I think that was a story. That's a story.
That's how you do. Oh, you go up here.
button up there.
What's up, Grandpa? Highly go- Peace, y'all. We're here on the Self-Love Tyrant Show. And we just had a free birth of the first of our nation. We are ninth nation. Imani. Imani Chi Love Mindset. I'm E.
I'm Remo 369, or Mindset, or Elijah, the messenger.
EAX, Elisha, Sarah Yun. Taking in all the names, receiving them all.
And this is
Imani Elijah Chi Love Mindset, who was born on February 3rd of 2023 at 7:07 p.m. That is an Aquarius during Aquarius season. And we are talking about, we first started this stream when we were manifesting a space to be able to have the free birth for Imani. And when we know that by even just putting these out into the meta, we know that just by putting these out into the meta, the ancestors hear it, and that's our way of manifestation. Because when you go on Instagram Live, it's not about how many people watch what you're doing. It's about how they are engaged with in the Akash. Because Instagram, social media, represents the Akash. So we started this when we were manifesting for the free birth for Imani, maybe about a week ago. And so this is now that Imani has arrived. We call this self-love tyrants because when it comes to being a lover of self, you have to embody all of who you are, and all of who we are includes our demons. And I know that I embrace my demons. I love them. They are control dramas. They are jealousy, and they are part of our makeup. And it's just being able to utilize them with intention. And the tyrant aspect of that is why a tyrant is definitely a part of it. We're tyrannical about how much we love ourselves. So, starting out this next level of post-free birth, talking about self-love and postpartum and the experience of birthing Imani and the different magics that were moving in and through how the birthing process was, because everything is energy, everything is quantum, and how much influence somebody has on your life determines how much of their magic influences the way that you move throughout your life. And so yeah, we'll just be talking about influence as well.
Yeah, like when you're a baby, right? Like, this is my ninth nation. The fourth trimester is what we're in right now. The control dramas of the collective's demons or angels or higher selves and lower selves is usually imprinted on us, similar to the movie Twilight. It's usually imprinted on us these areas, your parents, siblings, loved ones, family, your educational system, and then also your spiritually led systems, your culture, those that are responsible for your culture. If you work in your job area, that thing that controls your economics, these are the things that are ingrained in you. And then also the state, of course, your political system controls your what's the word I'm looking for? Your algorithm. and then has an influence on the things that are going on. So, us manifesting a safe, brave space to doula and birth baby Imani was definitely heavily influenced by some of those factors, even to the point where we ended up.
All of those factors. And so I'm sure that for anybody who can read energy effectively, anybody who has the sight to see, they can see the frequencies that are moving through and the way that we're engaging. And so just telling our story and talking about what it is that we've gone, some of those energies that we've been navigating through, because we call it self-love tyrants because we know that all this self and all this mind,
Good catch.
thanks, all this self is and all is mind, and knowing that we come here in specific avatars to learn specific lessons to those avatars is everything. Like, there's no, as far as the multiverse is concerned, all is within itself, and the illusion of separation is what we utilize in order to learn about ourselves more. And shout out also to me and Nika's with this dope backdrop right here. This is one of the jackets, and then this is one of their hand painted custom shoes.
Their family, their nation, their blood, what our marketing and management team is supporting them in their artistic endeavors for their first year of being a full-time creator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been like 10 months. But I know that I wanted to share some of my story about how it works because these kinds of influences have the way that the colonizing indoctrination system, the way its magic works on beings, is that it inputs a lot of fear in the place of faith. And everything that we're doing is coming from a place of operating from the place of faith. And we've received many opportunities to have our I want to be sideways. We've had many opportunities to test our faith during this process. And Imani's name is Faith, actually.
In Swahili, in the 7th day of Kwanzaa.
We had our first Kwanzaa together, and we were talking in the car, like, Imani. Because this has definitely been a test of faith. Like, I know that for myself, I come from, so the list of the identification politics, I am a half white, half Chinese, only child, middle class, suburban.
I just want to be that
I
way.
just want to be sideways. All right.
Everything always repurpose it.
Oh, and now we got the shoe though. So.
Oh yeah, big facts.
And those identification politics, they have a certain way of engaging with the consciousness. It's far easier to be susceptible to the indoctrination system, which includes internalized racism, xenophobia, lack mentality, othering, all of those oppression control dramas that exist within the indoctrination system. It's much easier to be susceptible to them in the identification politics that I listed within for describing my avatar. And all of those factors have been pushing buttons like during this process because my family is heavily indoctrinated. You can hear from my sounds that there's sort of like a layer of depression on top of my vibration. I've been in the postpartum process after not having the baby inside, and then also healing ancestral trauma, because I know that in order to heal ancestral trauma, you have to acknowledge all aspects of your identity politics. And it's like right now it's trending to be liberation centered and to elevate indigenous and melanated liberation movements. But if one doesn't do the internal work to address their ancestors, if they're not a highly melanated vibration or indigenous to this land, indigenous to another land, like you have to do that internal work. And I know that I'm kind of pioneering the blueprint for that, because in my own way, we're all pioneering our own blueprints. But the way that the magic of my family was moving through was that because I have such a strong love for them, that was also rooted in kind of an insecurity attachment. My consciousness has been in a what's the word? Cognitive dissonance.
There you go. Yes, cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, cognitive dissonance. There's been the cognitive dissonance in the way that I've been engaging and moving, because I have love, and I have deep love for my family, and because of the fact that within their spiritual means they did the best that they could to raise me, and they provided a great amount of intentionality into the way that they moved in their life, but they also were heavily indoctrinated. So having this child pushed all of their buttons, and because of the quantum entanglement that I have with them, and also just the swiftness with which spirit decided to move my body into jumping in and diving into my mission and my vision, it created a huge split in my reality, which was very divine and very aligned and very much in alignment with my whole and authentic self. But the way that it manifested has created cognitive dissonance in terms of the magic, or in terms of my thinking, but then also with Imani, like my family could, my dad specifically, but members of also my mom's side of the family could care less if I had this baby or not. They could care less if my partner died. They could care less on like an authentic love kind of way. And that has an effect because of the quantum entanglements that we have with our family members or people that we love. It has an effect on the way that everything was moving through. So
Yeah, one of the things that we were doing was a free birth, natural free birth. Yeah. In that natural free birth, it requires no hospital. You can do it from many different locations. It automatically goes against the domesticated system, like the social constructs that was created. Like, I am indigenous. Both my grandparents are native and indigenous, so they're melanin dominant. So your parents just are melanin recessive. Everyone's still human. And whatever land they claim or culture, any non-indigenous people here, I mean, it's all of white America. Y'all came from someone else.
indigenous to another land.
Y'all are definitely indigenous to a whole other land. I found out today Elon Musk is African American because he was born in Africa and he's also an American. Like, that's where words cast spells. Like being colored, like black, like you see how black is trending, black excellence. It's the same thing from the '69 in '69 where they was like being colored, like being proud of your color, right? Like actually being black, being proud and black, actually black and I'm proud started in the '60s, and then it's coming back around now. But we're in the 2000s, we're considered African Americans, or if you was born here, don't know your culture or land. That's why I'm heavy on every time I go out and perform. Like, this baby is the first baby of our nation. So if you represent a foreign nation, what happens is it does cause cognitive dissonance in those people, places, and things. And then that cognitive dissonance is transferred down to the child from the parent, because the child and the parent, um, they share bond. That bond they share creates it creates peace or it creates chaos.
Yes.
So
And all of the spaces in between.
and in that, like, I got to doula and midwife while we labored. You labored for 22 hours. There was a lot of push and pull on our mental health, and having family generational trauma calibrated and cleared up allows our family to help us and assist us with their thoughts and their prayers, because prayers and intentions are very powerful in this time.
It's the root. I mean, it's the root of all magic, right? And if someone has an ill intent towards, or especially in these circumstances, if they have an apathetic intent as well, it's like could care less, or they have ill intent for any of the party members involved, it does play a huge effect, based on the level of quantum entanglement that the other person has. So I know for me, like, a big thing that's been happening during this tour is that, like, engaging with you as a prophet and a shaman, like, one of the things that I had done was I had written that I choose to give my life and my thriving, not give my life in the sense of I'm going to die for this, I'll live for this, I'll thrive for this. I will thrive for the mission, and I will do whatever is necessary in order to stay aligned with being as liberated as I can. And I knew in doing that I would have to go into the ancestral trauma and heal the work, not just for myself and my family, but for my people, right? Like, and in that, during that time frame, like, engaging with a prophet and engaging with the shaman, they come and they show you in your face. It's like, here, this is all of the bullshit that I see. This is all of the, and the way that works is that you just are yourself.
That's it. And I'm like, yo, I have reverence and inspiration for the dope shit, but this is the bullshit. I got my own boundaries, and like what I just shared about my indigenousness, the generational curses that you're breaking, I'm breaking generational curses too.
We definitely were assisting. I mean, that's what our union is. We assist each other in breaking generational curses and building out businesses, and going half on this baby, half and half.
Which was establishing a system of governance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the world is this. It's a presidential year. We were talking about the one world order that they're trying to create amongst the major countries. My goal is to create the nation where our children have their own system of governance that we played a part in, where it doesn't, like, the laws don't help or go against a black person, because a black person and African American, these are all spells to keep you confused if you don't know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I know who I am. So, and then I know that because of the universal laws, like, I know all is mind.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody come into my frequency and they can vibe and they can look me in the eye, they're myself. And those that can't, they're lower versions of myself. So with this baby, us doing what we did for the first time, you doing free birth, no medicine. Only medicine we utilize is sound. Like, you see the sound bowl, right? Sound bowl, drums, breath work, mantras, different forms of mudras. The soothing that we did was based off of me being myself and you being yourself, and we sticking to that. It's awesome because, like, my mom, I have 9 nations, and my mom never seen any of my children, like, the birth of them. She's never been around any of them. So for us to we broadcasted the free birth.
You can see the free birth on Mindset. Is it Mindset Detox?
Yeah, it's on Mindset Detox. It's also on our LinkedIn, which some people are watching now. It's
Mhm.
also on our YouTube 369 Mindset, and our Facebook. I think it's on the Spirit of Sarah Hall page. And Speak Freely. I think is that Speak Freely's YouTube.
It goes to Speak Freely's, yeah.
Yeah, so Speak Freely YouTube. Um, we there's several different locations. Us being able to, we talked about the trauma because it rolls down into our engagements.
Yes. This is like being in an interracial couple that is highly self realized and actively healing ancestral trauma. It has a very, like, there's all of the aspects of being in an interracial couple, but because we're aware of our sphere of influence, um, it, it, it's a very, it gives a lot of opportunity to stay as intentional as possible.
Real. It leaves a lot of moments for like the highest form of love, right? Love is liberating, and ego is control. This shout out to Maya Angelou, very highly melanated, dominant being that was a great MC.
Writer,
Uh-huh.
poet.
She was huge. She was a warrior being. We talk about non-binary. They was definitely non-binary, masculine, feminine frequency. And I share this. Being able to love someone through the disagreements. Wow. What is the objective? The objective is to get this baby here as safely as possible, and us to be in the most calmest position. But when you love something or someone, it allows you to remind yourself, I'm around them because I love myself, I trust myself, I honor myself, I value myself, and in that you can calibrate. That's what we was talking about. We didn't need medicine. We didn't have marijuana. No, so we didn't get that until after we had the child, and there was no other form of herbal medicines. Um, so the medicine was just a lot of faith, a lot of prayer, a lot of intention, a lot of breathing.
And I'm so grateful for you because, like, being able to have compassion for another being and for another being to have compassion for you as you play out your ancestral trauma. Like, I know that for me, you saw my vision, and I was in a position where I felt it and I hadn't yet manifested all of the components to it. It's just like I had a vision. I was like, Speak Freely Media and Reimagining Solidarity, which you found out about after the fact. And these were ideas that I had been toying around with in my mind. I was like, okay, like I've been doing this open mic for a couple of years, and I've gone back to my family's place and I've been healing some family trauma, and now I'm learning how to be a better space holder because we can. And how can I turn this into a larger project? Speak Freely Media, a media company that documents empowering and liberating media. And then Reimagining Solidarity is the organization of the suburbs, of the upper class, and reallocating resources and assets towards indigenous and melanated liberation movements, period. But since melanated and indigenous peoples are at the forefront of that and have been at the forefront of those movements, it's important to highlight that, especially queer indigenous melanated vibrations. And so you saw that and you were like, look, we're going to start this and we're going to do this and we're going to go with it right now. And I was like, and this is my spirit, just like right now, like we're going for this right now.
Right now. Yep, we're going to go on tour. We're going to travel around.
And it was amazing because it was a test, like, because I was, my spirit was ready and my indoctrinated programming was doing everything that it could to stay, and in the process of, and I gotta give myself props because like I've said it a couple of times, it's like I was living in a goldfish bowl, and then the hand of God was like, all right, you ready?
Time to get out.
Straight into the ocean. You got enough space?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm grateful that you saw my vision and that you had faith in me and faith in my mission, especially. And you've allowed me to be me, which has been very authentic. And part of that authenticity is that I'm in my Saturn return. The way that this manifestation for my businesses has been, in terms of like physically manifested, I've been wildly unprepared. So the amount of space and capacity that I've had to actually be an excellent business partner has been lower than I mean, everything's in divine order. Everything's in divine order.
Like, this is what happens when we make space for, I want to bring it back to the birthing of our child, right? Like, I appreciate the compliment that you gave us, because I'm on mission, so I see mission. I'm on mission, so I see mission.
Yeah.
And then I can see not mission.
Right.
I can see it. When I say I see it, I hear the sounds, and the sounds paint pictures of my consciousness. And I get to listen to those that are speaking and channeling from the heart. And then those things ring well. Like, people give me goosebumps, or they make me have an emotion. If my body or my soul chooses to have an emotion, I'm pretty apathetic. So it's like that's a part of the Asperger's. But when I do have, I'm also very highly, I'm an empath. Like, the opposite of apathy is empathy. Like, at the highest level, you feel everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I can feel everything, and feeling everything. This birth was just all about a feeling process. Even like, when we did finally like manifest my family into taking us to this resort, right? Because that was what the love tyrant diaries was started about. We started it to manifest Airbnb, a doula team, all of these things for the baby to have, so that we could show our faith. And I use these devices. We use these devices. Speak Freely was using community-based events, and they had a social media page, but like we jolted their social media page. Like you said, you sat up against the tree today, and it jolted through your heart.
Like, I'm actively in the middle of a mental health like transition. Like, you had your mental health during 2018. Like, I'm in that similar process right now. So.
And that's what you were saying. The world, it jolted you out of your world.
Mm-hmm.
And getting jolted, being able to have.
So thank you for bringing it back to the free birth.
Yeah, no doubt. No, it's all good. One of the things, because they call it a rabbit hole, and when you're telling the antidote, like, I'm a speaker, so I told you, MC. I enjoy and giving and holding space for your mental health, for holding the space of non-judgment and engagement for what your parents did, and knowingly or unknowingly what they contributed to this birth, or what they didn't contribute to it, or what they had to offer. So it's like,
because the magic, like, in terms of the lack of intention, or the when someone is not willing to love themselves, they actively take energy from other people in order to maintain a life force. And when you grow up in a dynamic, and a lot of our parents did this because of the generations that they were in, this is the classic, like, oh, I'm living vicariously through you. I saw you. I wanted you to live my hopes and dreams. That's classic for, I didn't listen to my inner being, or I didn't have the ability to listen to my inner being, so I'm going to put that internalized sadness onto you and expect you to live out my life for me. Which, I mean, everything belongs, because we are who we are for a reason. But ultimately, like, the way that it has an effect on things is that if someone's lack of self-love is in a position where they would rather, like, kill themselves, not in whether it be through manifesting a disease or manifesting some kind of horrific accident or something, and if they are actively engaging with you from a place of lack of faith in what you're doing, and a lack of faith in what you're doing and what you believe in, with high quantum entanglements, it creates opportunities for whatever they're manifesting in their world to pop up into yours.
Yep.
So if they're in a position where, like, well, I'd rather die than take accountability for my suffering, and I'm going to actively utilize this claw that I have in somebody else as a life force sucker, then their desire to die for not taking accountability for their shit transfers to the person who they're suckering into, which would be, I mean, I know that that's what was happening is, and I'm fighting off right now. For me, with my family dynamic, and this is all of white America, right? This is what they're doing. This is why we're in this liberation process in the first place. My family just represents all white America, period. And the way that that manifested in our birth with Imani, like there was a moment for 3 minutes or so where Imani wasn't breathing. And we all knew that Imani was fine. Like we were just engaging, tapping, communicating.
I was just sending energy, being as calm as possible.
Yeah. And my inner sense of knowing was like, this is just the moment before the moment. Just in transition, not staying attached, even now as I like wave and transmute that timeline. So, yeah, magic is very real, and it's quantum science.
Quantum physics, the science of the unseen. And, we did that on live. You push that out.
Mm-hmm.
You snap back. And being aware, like when somebody tell me how they feel about me, it's the most ultimate thing. I don't knock your parents for how they feel about me, because it matches how they really feel about me.
Mm-hmm.
So, like my mom got to talk to your mom. My brother and I and my mom, we were estranged for the past few years. Like I'll engage with them because I'm healing my family, pulling them together so that the children and the children's children can see the elders,
Mm-hmm.
and vice versa. So when they saw how our engagement. You talked about the birthing of the child and how the child didn't have breath. Like throughout the pregnancy, like my demons came out because like your people's demons came out, and the angels, even if they come out and bark just a little bit, like we being a team, right, is that you communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you were communicating to us in the midst of um, balancing and calibrating yourself, and vice versa. Uh, so my mom heard my sounds, just like some other of the sannyasins heard our sounds, and they wanted to come and make sure that the baby, I say, come to the defense to make sure that our demons don't self-sabotage what we want, what we
Right.
truly desire, right?
Because we were both engaging with our demons.
Mm-hmm. So, um, my brother, when he called, my demons engaged with him immediately, and I let him know. I was like, "Yeah, y'all some vultures. Y'all just coming through for the fucking snatch the energy. Anybody call you?" like we were determined to do this by hell and high water with the people that we set the intentions with. Knowing like my mom has a lot of powers and abilities. She like her intentions of wanting to be around this baby created timelines where she had an option, and she maximized it. And because you wanted to be in the bath a good majority, if not birth the baby in the water, um, we manifested to be at a resort in Williamsburg, not
And-
an Airbnb, but a resort.
Well, it's interesting because we knew what we manifested exactly came to fruition. The midwife and the doula
Mm-hmm.
and the faith team.
Yep.
And the exact location that was necessary with access to water.
Mm-hmm.
And you were the midwife and doula.
Yeah, I did. I midwife and doula that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, like I every time we had interviews with like 2 or 3 midwives and doulas, right? And some of them wouldn't even go. The doulas wouldn't go to the areas where the midwife would do, as far as catching the baby, clamping it off the umbilical cord. Like I was like, oh, that's all y'all do? All right, thank you for letting us to remember. So we're going to tie in our shamanism and our support that we did in our other pregnancies, and we're gonna let spirit lead us.
I highly recommend getting a prophet to be your midwife or doula. Highly recommend.
Like faith is everything.
It is.
Like we were a dope team because like I was able to look in your eyes. We was turning screams into yams and yams and ohms, and just really maximizing it. Uh, we cleared a lot of space. Like Guillermo said that this baby was going to bring our family back together, and I agree tenfold.
Yeah.
Like already on the third, it brought me, my mom, my brother, my pops into a position where we caught up on who we are.
And it makes sense, you know, because like when I look at our family dynamics, like it makes sense that your family gets it first, because he knows that this baby is a bridge builder. Like your family has been actively estranged for as long as they have been.
Some generations, like so, like me being estranged. I would say sixth grade, a majority of my family, my grandma's and my grandpa children, when we stopped like living in and around the same place, because we always lived kind of like village lifestyle. It'd be like some aunts and some uncles all living in the house and all the cousins, and that happened all the way up until like the end of middle school, going into high school, and even in high school, my grandmother still lived with us. So getting to the point where no matter how much positive you have in your world, the system, when you're trying to play someone else's game, is gonna create a wedge. Like
the indoctrination system, the mindset of lack, of insecurity, of self-suffering.
Thank you for your add-on.
Imani's right here. You can barely see.
This camera, just have to bring it down. So.
Oh, there's the little face.
Yep.
Look at their hands. So, yeah, and right now we've been focusing on. Communicating about the free birth because that's what we were manifesting towards. But this is self-love tyrants. This is our documentation of the creation of a sustainable, sovereign blueprint for systems of governance that are rooted in self-realization, that are rooted in a sovereignty.
True sovereignty.
True sovereignty that is outside of the indoctrination system. That means we're creating our own paperwork, we're creating our own
birth certificates. What is our own starseed protections?
Because we can, and the thing is that because the United States is a corporation, we can choose to do business with them just like China chooses to do business.
Chooses to do it or not do it. To do or not to do. The choice is definitely yours. And this baby allows us to establish that from our free birthing, just like how I rock the doula and you rock the free birthing. Like you was on the other side of all of the faith, and you got to pull your afterbirth out.
Like an explosion of blood. Like I'm gonna. All right, we were sitting on the bed, and I had taken a break. I was like, all right, still gotta get the afterbirth up. I'm gonna chill and rest, hold the baby, which was such an overwhelming experience.
The first time you get to look into their face.
Oh God. So intense. But yeah, after that we were sitting there, and I was like, well, I'm about to birth the placenta now, and I did, and it was just a gush of blood and placenta coming out. We kept the placenta attached to the baby until the cord was done, so that Imani could eat and receive all the nutrients that they needed. We still have the placenta, actually, which we're going to, I think it was dry and grind it.
Dry it out and grind it up.
Yeah, maybe baking it in an oven.
And then from there, making smoothies, shakes, putting it in with the food, getting the nutrients back into your body, keeping that bag, that placenta, is what a lot of hospitals. It's a very valuable uh, item that comes out of you, that is created like this. It's like the baby spaceship that has all for real, like
It's like a UFO. It looks like a giant pancake.
it is like a UFO.
A giant neat UFO pancake.
Hmm. So being able to be ritualistic with it and um, be ceremonial with it is everything.
Absolutely.
My pops almost threw the shit away and missed it. Actually, did throw it
He
away.
intentionally threw it away.
He intentionally threw it away
Yeah.
because, like, he's been heavily indoctrinated by a Christian system that may not understand indigenous or overstand indigenous cultural ways. Being one with yourself and your body, and being one with the nutrients that's already provided by Jah or God.
Big facts. Yeah, us being able to utilize the placenta, because there's a reason why it comes out still attached to the baby and it doesn't immediately die. Like, if it's like that, it's probably meant to continue feeding the baby.
And the tip that we learned, keeping it warm or keeping it damp will allow the cord to not dry out and nutrients can continue to pass on. That's one thing we learned. Like I learned so much. Like, we sat down and wrote out a play-by-play of birthing in the free birth well, and like knowing that these process about life is learning the positive, the negative, the angelic and righteous shit, or the dense and dark shit. Like, it's a part of it. And your level of faith or fear will determine what solutions or what problems you're creating.
Yes. Yes. Number one takeaway is have faith in your body. Have faith in yourself. Your body knows what it's doing. Your body will guide you on what you need to do, and your heart is going to keep you aligned. And our work is to utilize our brain, our minds, to communicate between the spirit and the heart and the actions that we choose to take. Because the brain just processes everything and spits it back out for us. It processes our perspective.
Electronic switching stations. Wherever we are stimulated and what thoughts are coming through from there, the brain is sending it where it needs to be sent. And this message was to kind of invite y'all in more to the process of self-love.
Right, because we were being vulnerable. That's what we were doing.
Yeah.
Being vulnerable about our process.
So we thank y'all for holding the space. I'm gonna play the sound bowl. Do you want to lead us in a mantra or breath work?
Let's do affirmations.
All right.
Can you, while you're up, can you actually, can you turn off the stove? Thank you. Boiling a beet for like 20 minutes.
I thought I heard the stove.
It feels so good to breathe.
Said it felt so good to breathe. It does.
As we inhale and we exhale, I am grateful for the divine alignment of my life.
I am grateful for the divine alignment of my life.
And I trust that all that I am doing is for the best version of me.
I trust that all I am doing is for the best version of me.
I know that all is mine.
I know that all is mine.
And I know that all is temporary.
I know that all is temporary.
Everything exists in the now moment,
Everything exists in a now moment,
and I am ecstatic about the potential.
and I am ecstatic about the potential.
We are aligned on our missions,
We are aligned on our missions,
and I am grateful.
and I am grateful.
I love myself.
I love myself.
I trust myself.
I trust myself.
I honor myself.
I honor myself.
I value myself.
I value myself.
And I respect myself.
And I respect myself. So as we clear the space, we did the breath and the affirmation. We're going to end it with a LAM. LAM, grounding all of the energy that we have discussed. We're going to do LAM 3 times. Deep breath in. Deep breath in. Release the LAM. LAM. Ocean breath it out. Put the tongue to your roof of your mouth as you breathe in. Hold it. Releasing the tongue from your roof of your mouth and breathe out. Grounding it into the center of the core of the earth.
Up into the sun.
Last one, breathing in all that beautiful prana and sun and air and wind and earth.
All of that prana, baby.
Clenching your butt cheeks so you would lot as you breathe in. Releasing the lime, releasing your butt cheeks. May we be well, peace-filled.
May we be ease,
May we be healthy and happy.
and may those that we love, our vibrational family, be well.
May they be peace-filled. May they be healthy and happy.
May our trespasses be well.
May they be peace-filled, healthy, and get exactly what they desire.
Exactly what they desire.
And our trespasses, we upgraded to no more enemies or frenemies, but we have unaware accomplices or unaware allies
That we absorb.
that are absorbed by our flow and our movement.
Because all is self and all is mind, and as much as we can be our own worst enemy, we can also be our very best friend.
Our very bestest.
And we want our best friends to do well, don't we?
This one is my best friend, my B-U-D-D-Y. This is my best friend, B-U-D-D-Y. Yeah. Once again, we thank y'all for tuning in to Love Tyrants, Self-Love Tyrants.
Self-love.
Baby Imani, Elijah, Chi Love, Mindset, the first of our nations. My name is Remo369 Mindset, also known as Elijah the Messenger, also the Spirit of Sarah Hall at Mindset.
I am E. My multiple names: AX, Elisha, Sarah, Yuen.
So see y'all.
So thank you for tuning in, y'all, and being in a vulnerable space with us.
Peace.